and welcome to the fifth episode of With Misfits. My name is Kelly, and I'm your host.
And I'm Nishikantha, your co-host.
Today, we're going to be talking about adults.
Adults.
We're going to be talking about just the things that adults do that, we don't understand sometimes. Like, we don't understand why they do it.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep it pertaining to psychology. Because there are a lot of things that adults do that we don't understand, but we're going to keep it, we're going to try and keep it in the psychology circle.
Yes.
Yes, because if we otherwise talk about things, we're going to talk about lame jokes and random things that, never mind. So, when we think about when we think about things that adults do, then, sometimes frustrates us. We just go like, I don't want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Yeah, like, what is the first thing comes to your mind?
Maybe not understanding, or maybe not getting out of that stigma of getting treated mentally.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the first thing that I would think of.
Yeah.
What would you think of?
Not understanding. For me, I think what annoys me the most is just, there are just some things that they say that they don't mean it prejudicially, but the language that they use, like, I don't know how to explain, like, they'll, about certain things or certain people, like, stereotypical, like, stereotype things or prejudice things, or just things targeted to a particular generation, maybe.
Yeah.
Saying this generation does this. It's all this generation's fault. Things like that.
Example?
The fact that they cannot distinguish between millennials. Millennials. Yeah, I said it right. Generation Y and Generation Z.
The gap.
Yeah, the gap. Like, even though it's just a year's difference and then till today, but they don't know that the exposure is different, the things that they do is different, and the things that they like is different, the things that we like is different, and it just annoys
me. Okay.
But yeah.
Is there an example that you could give where you're someone who has said it to you?
Yeah. So, okay, I'll give you a nice, it's not a bad one, it's like not a bad example, okay. But, we went so I took my family to have breakfast once, to a place that I shall not name. Okay? So, it's an amazing cafe, we had breakfast there, and I had gone there to have breakfast with a friend of mine, who's younger than me, but is like an old soul as well. So, even though he falls under Generation Z, I would kind of, mentally he's a millennial.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we went there, we had coffee, and that place is amazing. Like, for the coffee is amazing, and, the place, the feel is very homey, and people who come there, they're just so chill, and it's like the Friends vibe. The coffee house at Friends vibe. So it's exactly like that, kind of. People just come there to drink coffee and talk. Now, I went there with my family, and we were having lunch, and breakfast, and halfway through breakfast, there are some guys who walk in with bags, haversacks, and, they just sit down. So then, just casually, okay, one member says, that's dangerous. Like, now that's something I do not want to see here, with someone walking in with a bag, with a haversack.
Okay.
Because in his mind, that's what drugs come in.
Oh.
Okay, that's how they come in. Okay. So now, we had bags too. So I'm like, you have a bag? So what's in it? Like, what's in that bag?
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at every single person here. They are come here to have coffee.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, you need to understand the difference. Like, we don't do that. We are here for coffee. We are not here to do drugs. And if it was, it wouldn't be so like in the open. In the morning at 10 o'clock. No one wants to do it at 10 o'clock. I was like, just like, it's different. Not everybody you meet who is younger than you
have this kind of notion.
Wants to do drugs. Not every single person wants to do drugs, and not every single person with a bag is doing drugs. I mean, they could be here answering the exams, or they could be tech people. They could be getting supplies. Well, you don't know. So yeah, things like this. This is an example. These are the things that they do.
Okay. What? I don't know. It's just that thinking pattern of theirs is so different from, they cannot differentiate with us and the generation Z.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that Generation Z does drugs.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, you see someone go, don't call everyone youngsters. Because now, what's youngsters?
You have to specify
exactly
which age group it is.
Yeah, they see someone driving rash on the road, they be like, these youngsters these days.
Okay, what about us then?
Yeah, like where do we fall? Because right now, according to you, we are not adults.
Yeah.
But according to you, according to us, we are not youngsters. So where do we fall? Like,
also, I have another example. So whenever it comes to something where it's like duties and all that, so if you have like younger siblings, then it's the responsibility of the elder one.
Yeah.
So now whether if that sibling is at the age group from like 23 to 25, so they have to be very much responsible.
Okay, so that's the older sibling.
That's the older sibling. Okay, so they have to be responsible. But then if they have something where, they can do it and somewhere where we should not do it, that's when they say that you are young.
I'm so confused.
The parents, they say that you are too young for this.
Oh, okay. I understand. So, okay, let me put you what you're saying in like a practical example.
Scenario.
Yeah, like a scenario.
Yeah.
So, for example, marriage. Let's talk about marriage again.
Okay.
So, from the age of 20, say 23, if you're a girl, till say 27, 6, okay, till 26, 27, they will pester you about marriage. When now you've reached the age, or you're reaching the age that you have to get married, blah, blah, blah. For a guy, even the minute he reaches like 25, they'll be like, okay, you need to start earning because you need to find a girl and blah, 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 and get settled, and you need to have a good this, that. But if we go to them and we be like, we're 25, and we go to them and we be like, forget the marriage thing, but I want to go and live alone.
Yeah.
I'm earning, or I want to like earn, and I want to live alone. Things that I would do if I was married, just take out the marriage part.
Yeah.
And then there's no guy or girl, just me. In a house, doing the things I would do if I was married, but not married. And they would be like, no, you're too young for this. But you're not young to get married. But you're young for this.
Yeah. That's very confusing.
It is very confusing. There's another example. Okay, this is a silly one.
Okay.
This is a very silly one. So for me, they find that first of all, benefit of the doubt for them, they don't understand what's the difference between cartoons and anime. But they think, for them, I'm too young, I'm too old to watch anime. Okay, because to them it's cartoons. It's fine. Like, it's not something that I would say too young, too old, not your situation or what you're trying to explain. But I'm just saying there are things that people like to do, like hobbies, or just pastime, or just things that calm them down, or they do, that, you should not kind of butt in and say this is not right for you. Because there could be a lot of things. I like collecting stationery, and they find it childish. But I love collecting stationery. You know how expensive stationery is?
Yeah, and also they have like so many things in it that you I get confused. I don't know. I mean, you love it, so you know it's like specific.
I
But
love
I get
stationery.
confused.
So yeah, so they don't understand, like for them everything is about age.
At
Age,
this,
age.
yeah, at this right time, you'll have to do this. At this time, you'll have to get married. At this time, you'll have to have kids.
And this really messes up with your mental health because you cannot do the things that you want to do because age, like, everyone is talking behind you. This is not the appropriate age to do this. This is not the appropriate age to do that. You cannot hang around with people who are younger than you. You cannot hang around with people who are older than you. You cannot hang around with people who are the same age because you don't like them. So now what do? Hang around alone. Then you're hanging out alone. I mean, everything is a problem.
It's like, see, the thing is, like how you said, you have like a particular age for everything. That's how parents tell you. Like you have to do this, do that. But then what if it doesn't happen accordingly? Then how will you try to face it?
Exactly.
So you don't know, if you don't get at that particular time the perfect job that you actually want it to be, then it becomes some kind of a pressure on you that you have to get it now or else you will not get it. So you have the entire life ahead.
Exactly.
So it's a little difficult to understand what they have gone through. They sometimes say that, I have experienced it.
But
I don't want you
to experience it.
So that's how they try to. So it's like always we need to be allowed to fall into a ditch, and if we cannot get out of it, they can pull us out.
Yeah.
So it should be
that's a situation. Yeah. We need to have like a blanket, like a safety blanket that we call parents or adults around us. Like our safety blanket cannot be something we build. Like it cannot be our plan B. It has to be them. Like plan B is equal to parents. It cannot be plan B is like a different job or something else. And I think this has to do also with like comparing, like you said, I've experienced this, so I don't want to go. I don't want you to go there. So like comparing their time with our time, like things are different. That's
totally different.
That is always the case. Like every argument is that ends or starts with that.
Yeah.
Like during my time, when I was your age, the perfect example for this is this. At the age of 18, I wanted to work part-time. I think we've spoken about this before in the previous episodes.
Yeah.
But, or maybe the next, I don't know. So, when I was 18, I wanted to work part-time. Okay? And my mother was like, you can't work part-time. So, after a few days, or maybe before this, so I just know this. I asked her when did she start working. She said at the age of 18. Like a full-fledged job.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
And I wanted to do part-time.
Okay.
Granted that she didn't really study, or she wasn't studying while she was working at the age of 18. I was studying. That's why I'm doing part-time. It's not a full-fledged job. It's part-time. Like, for example, she was working from 9 to 6. I was studying from 9 to 1. And then I would go to part-time from like 3 to 6. So see?
Yeah.
It's the same thing if you go to see. But no, you cannot do this.
It's okay. You don't have to do it. We still have that support. We can give you all the support that you want.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're not trying to throw them out of our lives. Like us being independent does not mean we're not dependent on them. It just means we want to be more dependent on ourselves. Like we want to learn to do things ourselves. And then in the future, they suddenly go, you don't know how to do this. Yes, because you never let me. I mean, how am I going to learn? Those kind of things. And never forget, you're still young to do things.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
I don't know where to go. I really don't know where to go. We're in a situation where you don't know, we are not here enough there. We're just in between stuff and thinking of how to go ahead.
Yeah.
And be independent.
Okay, I think we kind of went everywhere else. Like I said, we're going to stick to mental health and psychology, but we spoke about
2025.
Anyways, Turning back to psychology and mental health. When it comes to adults, what is like one thing I have noticed is they try, or for at least for me, because I'm in this profession, I make them try, or they're trying to not, or to think about what they're saying, or to not be offensive and things like that. Or I will call them out and I will tell them, this is wrong. You should not say this. But what about others? Like, who do not have kids who are in that profession, who do not understand mental health. They say things about other kids, about, kids in the playground, or just, it's not like they're saying it directly to them, but they'll say it to their own kid. Like, for example, there is this one situation where the parents went to a playground with their kid, and there was I think he was an autistic child playing there. So this parent did not know what to do or whatever. So something happened, and this child, the child on the spectrum, he was being a little aggressive with the toys, and didn't want to share, or wanted to share, something like that. So to a parent who doesn't understand how to that situation and how to handle that situation, it just got very aggressive. Yeah, and things got bad. Bad as in even police were involved. That bad. Because, it got aggressive.
Yeah,
with the parent and the child and someone else's parent. So like, you already assume, you don't look at the situation, you already assume that something bad is happening there. You don't try to understand that, or, if the child had a physical disability, you would be more open, accepting, because you can see it, like it's there in front of you, and you can see the fact that the child is physically disabled, and then you are like, okay, you tell your own child, calm down, or whatever. But in this situation, you just assume that he's just being angry. The other child is just being aggressive, naughty.
Yeah.
You don't think even twice. That the thought doesn't even pass into your head that there could be another kind of disability.
True. Maybe they're just unaware about certain situations like these.
Yeah. So, this is just an example that happened physically, but there are things that happen even at home. Like, they'll come home, they'll be like, did you see what happened there? Or did you see how that person was acting? Or in a restaurant, and, they just stare. And it's sad to watch. Like, don't do that. I'm able to tell my parents, like, don't do that. This is what is happening. And then they understand. But others don't. And then that passes on to your kids, saying, oh my god, if someone's acting that way, it's bad.
Yeah.
What's wrong? And things like that.
Yeah, and actually another example that I would like to give is sometimes the adults don't understand of how to deal with or maybe say things that are wrong about people. Like, for example, if it comes to suicide, then they always have this notion where they attempted it because they had some kind of girlfriend or boyfriend.
Yes, I was just gonna say. Yeah.
So it's always related to something that is relationship and not
anything else.
To something else. Usually, to reach to that situation, that person must have tried so many times and got that hopes from someone else.
Yeah.
Sometimes not got that hope, and then still something happened. So it's very difficult for the adults to understand that phase. Even if you try and tell them, they'll think that it's not how you think. It's something that it's very stupid.
Yeah.
It's very crazy.
Or all they'll say is, you don't know this. You're too young. You've not seen the world.
Probably.
Yeah.
And you could have. They sometimes I've heard people say this, that you cannot. They probably couldn't handle their stress. So
Yeah.
they were too weak. They could have done something better, or they could have taken some kind of support. Why would they even take that step?
Yeah. Exactly.
So there are so many things that they keep saying, and you don't know how to explain it back to them.
You see, first only, suicide is something difficult to understand from our perspective as well. Like, it's very difficult to know that, okay, this person might be on the verge of, attempting suicide. But then it gets worse. Like, for them, it's like, why do they do it? Loss of life. And I understand that they're thinking from the parents' perspective, like, the parents' loss, or, what must the parents think and feel and everything, and how could the child do this? So I understand that perspective, but it's just very sad when, they get into their own groups of adults and then they be like, he committed suicide because of a girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, how can you, it becomes a little just sympathetic and not like
Empathetic, yeah. And even like when you try to, you don't know how to explain it to them that there is a lot going on in a person, with a person for them to take that step. It's not just, I broke up with someone and now I want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
It's not something like that, And I know that many of them, in regards to suicide, they think it is true at times. Like when you tell people or you use suicide as blackmail, you don't do it.
Okay.
Like, for example, like, don't do this, I'll kill myself. Like, use it as blackmail. But there are times when people will say, I just want to kill myself. And you need to be able to differentiate between the tones in their voices, pay more attention. And I think I'm not saying we do it better than, I'm not saying adults don't do it, but I'm saying maybe we do it a little better than they do. Maybe, or maybe it's just because we are in that profession.
Yeah,
we think that we do it better. But I've realized that a lot of people do not pay attention to their surroundings. Like, they will do their work and then they're done, no matter what other people say. Like, someone's trying to talk to them about something serious and they go, this is not the time to talk about that. We have work to do, or something. And, it's like, they don't give time for someone else's mental health. They don't give time for, I don't know how to put it, like just that interpersonal relationship or that interpersonal talk. Yeah, just to talk and handle up things like this. So I think people just find it difficult to talk to adults.
Maybe.
Even kids, like, they find it very difficult to talk to adults because if you go to an adult and say, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling depressed, I feel like I just want to die, an adult would probably say, I know I'm saying adult, like, we are not adults, but what I mean is someone of an older generation, like our parents' generation, and above. They would say something like, what would they say? What did I say? Oh yeah.
When you go and approach a parent.
Yeah. So they would say something like, it's fine, like, you're just sad, you're just stressed, sleep it off. Or do you want to go somewhere? Or things like that. They will not touch the topic.
Yeah.
Or they'll just say, don't talk like that. Like, don't say that you want to kill yourself. Don't talk like that.
Yeah.
Just because you're not talking about it doesn't mean it stops.
Yeah.
The thought doesn't stop.
That's true.
So they find it difficult to talk.
Maybe they're not. See, the thing is, the generation has not gone through it. Like, if you see now, it's more that people are kind of getting open to it. But then previous generation, like our adults, our parents. So they are not used to it. They used to always consider it to be coward or crazy and stuff like that. So it's difficult for them to accept it now because they've already grown up and they've reached to that situation where they cannot accept something new.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And also, I don't think they didn't have this during that time. They didn't have so many conflicts and so many thoughts of, and even if they did.
No, they did, but then they didn't know how to.
They would just consider it like a daily routine or their life or whatever, they just stick to it and do things. Like
Yeah.
it would be just like stress for them. That's why everything like anxiety, depression is just stress. Like, calm down. Don't do things. It's just stress. But for us, we know now how to, because of the information that we get, we know the difference between depression, anxiety, and stress. Like we know what is making us feel this way.
True.
We just want them to know that we are feeling this way. So I think this episode wasn't really about calling out adults in a bad way. It was just to kind of give light that maybe they don't understand because we don't make them understand in a way.
Yeah, maybe. Or even if we try to make them understand, they're not in the situation to take it in that way.
We need to explain it to them in a way that I don't know.
They're just there. I mean, we cannot say much about it, but that's how the generation is.
Yeah, but you still need to talk to your parents about things that are going through.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes parents, like a lot of parents, can be like, this is not right, or whatever you're feeling is not, it's not real, or things like that. But
I think we have met people who have been understanding because they have gone through it and they understand it. So we have met people who have been supportive and understanding and knowing what is the difference.
Yeah, like I know parents who are very open with their kids. They have every conversation that they possibly should have with their kids, and that's amazing. My parents are a little old-fashioned, but they're getting there. Like I am very assertive with them, or aggressive. I don't know. I basically just make it a point that they understand what is happening with not only me, with everyone else. Like if they say something wrong, I do correct them. Like for example, we were talking about gender and sex, or something like that, and I said gender, and then someone corrected me, and they were like, no, you must say sex, and I'm like, sex is subjective, and something like that. And I was like, just say gender. Better. Just say gender. Because we were talking about a baby's gender.
Yeah.
So I was like, just say gender. Because sex is subjective now. And, don't correct someone when they say gender that you should say sex. If they say gender, it's fine. If they say sex, it's fine. Just don't correct people. Don't say you have to say sex. So, yeah. So, you kind of correct them because sometimes parents like to learn. You don't know unless you try. Like sometimes parents do like to learn certain things, and they do consider you to be like us, millennials and Generation Z. They do consider us to be more knowledgeable than them in certain aspects. Yes, they do frustrating things sometimes. They do not understand the difference between, they cannot decide whether we are responsible or not. They cannot decide whether we're adults yet or not. So, these are the frustrating things that they will continue to do. Like, I don't think that will ever stop. But when it comes to the important things like taking care of your mental health and worrying about your mental health, I think they do it. It's just that they don't understand it.
They don't understand how to go about it, basically.
Yeah. So they give them a little roadmap. Show them a video. Show them any videos about, certain things.
Yeah, you can always be open to them and try and talk to them, make them understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take your own path.
Yeah, like however you think you can deal with your parents, deal with them. Like because you know your parents better. So whatever works with them, whatever works with them, go for it and do it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think this episode was just we were just
letting out our feelings about what we think about it.
Yeah. Like we don't think adults are these old generation people who don't understand anything.
They do.
They do.
They're very smart.
They're very smart, very scarily smart. But they do have a difficulty in understanding things, or the concept of change, they do have difficulty in this because they didn't have to go through this. And it's, for them, the only worry now that they have is your education, you're married, whatever. Yeah, they don't really have to worry about their mental health or mental health or whatever. So make them worry. Like show them that it's important that even
You
if
have your own pace.
like you fall down, yes, you will get hurt, but you can also get hurt emotionally, and that is also important to deal with. And yeah,
That's it.
yeah, and yeah, I think that's it. So call out your adults, as in, talk to them, correct them whenever they say something wrong, or whenever they are being stereotypical or prejudiced to a particular generation or sect, or anything of that sort. And it's fine to just tell them that just what you're saying is wrong, or it's not wrong to have an argument with your parents. It's a good discussion. It's very healthy. It kind of brings you closer, builds a bond,
Yes.
and it opens up a way where you can talk to them about anything. So yeah, have an argument with your parents. It's good.
Understand them also.
Yeah, and understand them exactly. Understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Because you need to understand their generation.
True.
In their times.
True.
So with that,
we end our episode, Misfits.
Yes, and we will be dealing with our parents, and I hope you all deal with yours. It is a difficult road ahead. But good luck.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and on YouTube.
Bye.
Thank you.